So you've heard about scalp micropigmentation, but what exactly is it? In this video, we're going to find out. Hi, I hope you're having a great day. It's Justin David here from Scalp Culture, your go-to source for everything scalp micropigmentation related. Scalp micropigmentation is the only hair loss solution to offer guaranteed results. In this video, we'll discuss how scalp micropigmentation helps those suffering from different types of hair loss, as well as the limitations to the treatment. Be sure to stick around to the end of this video where I will offer some bonus tips on how to find a reputable SMP provider for your SMP treatment. All of the links to everything we mentioned in this video can be found in the description box below. Okay, scalp micropigmentation is a cosmetic tattoo for all types of hair loss. It's a safe, non-invasive treatment which permanently disguises hair loss once and for all. SMP is performed by trained experts who have the skills and knowledge to produce super realistic results, to the point that you wouldn't be able to tell that somebody had had the treatment done. Using specific needles, machines and technique, SMP artists will create micro impressions of pigment across the balding areas of the scalp which look just like short shaven hairs. The colour and density of these impressions is matched to your existing hair growth. In most cases, what we will do is look at the side of your hair where you've got hair growth, assess the density and the darkness of your natural hair, and then we replicate that with the SMP across the full area where you have thinning. For example, I have SMP across the top of my head here, which is matched to the density and the darkness of my natural hair on the sides. My SMP treatment has only been performed on the top of my head and I have no SMP on the sides here whatsoever, so it's perfectly blended in to the natural hair around the sides. The great thing about SMP is that you see results from your very first treatment session, and SMP is normally performed over 3 to 4 separate treatment sessions. The first 2 treatment sessions are normally spaced around 10 to 14 days apart, with a third session coming around 4 weeks after your second session. This just allows for your skin to have a healing period and for the treatment to settle down. Each treatment session will give you an even layering of SMP through the balding areas or the thinning areas, and you'll see the treatment darken over the sessions. An SMP treatment can usually be completed over a 6-week period, but in some cases where clients have a tighter schedule, we can shorten the process. Now, a lot of people would assume that having an SMP treatment is quite a painful process, but in fact it really isn't painful at all. Some people may experience mild discomfort, but on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being painless and 10 being very painful, most of our customers would describe it as a 2 to 3 out of 10 at most. It really isn't a painful process. Now, I know I said that scalp micropigmentation is a cosmetic tattoo, but it really isn't the same as a regular tattoo. There are some key differences to the two processes. One of those differences is the depth of which we go into the skin. Scalp micropigmentation doesn't go as deep into the skin as a regular tattoo, therefore it's not as painful as a regular tattoo. We also don't work over the same area like tattoo artists can. We simply deliver the impression and then move on through the areas of the scalp. Scalp micropigmentation can be used to treat all types of hair loss, from male pattern baldness, female baldness and thinning hair as well. It's suitable for both males and females of all ages, and we always say at Scalp Culture, you're never too old for a hairline. Before we continue, if you have any questions about scalp micropigmentation, please drop them in the comment section below this video and I will read through the comments, and if I find something interesting in there, I'll definitely answer it in a future video. Now, we've discussed how scalp micropigmentation creates the look of short shaven hairs, but now we'll discuss how it can treat different types of hair loss. Firstly, let's look at guys who are suffering from male pattern baldness. A lot of guys that are suffering from male pattern baldness will shave their hair down to a very short length to minimise the contrast between where the hair grows and where the hair doesn't grow, and just to keep it looking tidy. I know that hair loss can be a touchy subject, so please don't take offence here, but as someone who's been through hair loss myself, I do understand the lengths that people will go through to disguise hair loss. So for guys who are already shaving their hair to a short length, in simple terms, SMP will simply fill out the areas where you're suffering from balding to give you the look of a full shaven head of hair. This allows guys to have their hairline back to where it should naturally be, which in turn frames your face and really does take years off your appearance. I've been performing SMP for many years, and I still get shocked in a good way when I see a guy go from looking 40 to 30 within a day. Reframing the face with a hairline really does make a huge difference. Now, I know what you're thinking, if SMP creates the look of a full shaven head of hair, how on earth can it help those who have got longer thinning hair? So let's get into it. We understand that density clients want to add density to their longer thinning hair, and shaving their hair, even for an SMP treatment session defeats the purpose. Therefore, for density clients, we actually treat underneath and throughout the longer thinning hair to create a fuller look and camouflage any thinning areas. With longer hair usually being a darker colour or shade than shaven hair, we use darker pigment shades to match the hair colour at its current length. The longer thinning hair then sits on top of the SMP, which creates that fuller, thicker look. And in simple terms, it camouflages the brighter skin from showing through the thinning hair. Density treatments are especially useful for female clients, guys who have longer thinning hair that wish to keep it long, and also people who have had hair transplants but perhaps have not had the desired results from the hair transplant and still are experiencing a bit of thinning. We can use the treatment to create a thicker, fuller look for those type of clients also. SMP can also be used to camouflage scars, such as scars from surgery or scars from hair transplants. The treatment process is exactly the same as I've discussed in this video, and it really does do a great job of disguising scars of all shapes and sizes. Now, one of the biggest rewards as an SMP artist is helping and treating those that are suffering from aggressive alopecia. Again, the treatment process is the same, but SMP allows those that are suffering from aggressive alopecia to have the look of a full shaven head of hair and camouflage their hair loss. Some alopecia sufferers experience a complete opposite to what I just described, to a point where they only have a patch of hair missing or a few random patches of hair missing, and they hold most of their hair. In those cases, we can use the SMP treatment throughout those patches and just blend into the natural hair around the patches just to create a nice seamless look. Now, for the limitations of scalp micropigmentation, SMP is a fantastic treatment, but it does have limitations, and I do feel as an artist it's important to tell you what those limitations are so that you can see if SMP is the right hair loss solution for you. For guys who have significant hair loss, who are required to shave to have the SMP treatment, as obvious as it sounds, SMP is not going to grow the hair back. Neither will it allow you to keep your hair at a longer length after the treatment. Shaving it on a regular basis, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, is what you'll need to be doing to match it in with the SMP treatment. Some people do mention online that they don't want to shave their hair to a short length on a regular basis, but you'll find that most guys that are suffering from hair loss do actually shave their hair on a regular basis anyway. All the treatment is doing is matching in to the hairs on the side just to give you that full and complete shaven look. Okay, one question that we do get asked a lot is, will the treatment grow? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but tattoos don't grow. But in all seriousness, this is a limitation of the SMP treatment. If you're already shaving your hair due to hair loss, or you're just about to brave the shave, scalp micropigmentation is simply going to give you that full and complete shaven look. And I actually find it quite empowering because it gives you the control back to say, I've shaven my hair by choice rather than I've done it due to hair loss. You'd be very surprised at the amount of people that say to me, why don't you grow your hair out? You've got a full head of hair. And you can imagine the shock on their faces when I say to them, it's actually a tattoo. Of course, you don't need to tell people this. I just tell people that I've had the SMP treatment because you never know who that information might help. Okay, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you for sticking around, and I've got a few tips for you now on what to look out for when choosing an SMP provider for your SMP treatment. Tip number 1, don't choose your SMP clinic based on location and price alone. It's important to remember that scalp micropigmentation is a permanent procedure on your scalp. Getting it done right the first time should be the most important factor when making your decision, and sometimes if it means travelling a little further to your preferred artist who you know is reputable, I would say that that would be a great choice. Tip number 2, your SMP artist should have a strong and lengthy portfolio demonstrating the quality of their treatment results. They should also be able to demonstrate that they can achieve great results for your particular case. So for example, if you are someone who is suffering with alopecia, you'd want to see in the artist portfolio that they have treated people with alopecia in the past and achieved great results. Or perhaps you're someone who is suffering with longer thinning hair and you want to have a density treatment. Again, the artist should be able to demonstrate that they can achieve great results for density clients. Whatever your hair loss scenario or case is, you'd want to see that your chosen artist can produce great results that are relatable to what you're going through. Tip number 3, scalp micropigmentation is a manual process. And by that, I mean your artist will be using a machine, but they will be using their hand to create individual impressions in dot form. If your chosen artist is offering microblading of the scalp, which is hair strokes, or if they are using a roller to roller impressions into the scalp, I personally would suggest that you stay well away because the long-term results never heal well. Personally, I would recommend that you have your treatment performed by somebody who specialises in scalp micropigmentation using the DOT method, as this is the method which has proven itself to work over many years. As someone who has been through hair loss myself and has had the SMP treatment, as well as working at one of the longest running SMP clinics in the world, I feel like I have the experience to be able to help and guide others to get great SMP treatments. Feel free to follow us on Instagram, where you'll get a good understanding about the correct SMP techniques and practices. I'll leave a link in the description box below this video. Do you have any questions about scalp micropigmentation? If you do, drop them in the comment section below this video. I'll be sure to go through and answer the best questions. If you found this video informative and helpful, please consider supporting the channel by giving this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel to see more content like this, and check the links in the description box below. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.